Hello YouTube Nation, this is Ron with RTR Gearheads. Today we're going to actually be diagnosing the 2010 Mini Cooper that I shot a video up about last night. I had mentioned the codes. It's actually pulling a P0301 and a P2187. So 0301 is a misfire on cylinder 1. We're going to try to swap the coil packs, or ignition coils, between 1 and 4 to see if the 301 turns into a 304 for a misfire on cylinder 4. That way we can at least single down and see if the coil pack is actually an issue or if there's another issue. As far as the P2187, it's condition lean and idle. So we're going to try to find vacuum leaks. Junior had mentioned the oil cap to me last night, so we're going to try to see if the oil cap might be an issue, and also the PCV, which is actually serviceable in this. We'll get into that during the video though. Try to fix this the most cost-effective way for the individual that owns it. But hope you guys enjoy watching.
This is Ronnie from RTR Gearheads. Dad drove over the 2010 Mini Cooper of his Army buddies. Taking a look at it, he almost got hit because it almost stumbled on him on the way over. So definitely an issue that needs to be addressed. As soon as we pop the hood though, oil cap is broken, which could definitely be a big problem right there. That could be the whole problem, but we still want to make sure we dot those two codes for a misfire, cylinder 1, and then also the lean code. So what we want to do right now is just swap the coil over and see if that makes a difference in where the misfire is. Let us know if the coils are bad or not. It's probably due for it.
Real quick. Push in, pull up, and then you just keep pressure on it as you do it. See how it's lifting up?
Yeah.
And then down the line.
Cool.
Yeah, as Junior mentioned, it's misfire on cylinder 1. We got a P0301, and we also got a P2187, which is lean at idle. They literally, this is what's crazy.
Yeah, I was just seeing if any of the wires were loose.
Yeah, because they literally pop up.
Yep. And cylinder 1 should be closest
That's
to
that
cams,
one,
right?
man. So what Junior's going to do is he's going to go ahead and switch the ignition coil, the coil pack, from 1 to 4, and see if the actual P0301 changes to a P0304 and follows the coil, and that way we'll at least know it's the coil that's the issue.
Yep, and we don't have any oil in the cylinder, so.
And if the coil is the issue, you could get away with just buying one coil, but if they're the original coils, that means the other 3 aren't far behind. So I'd always recommend, if finances will let you, to go ahead and get 4 to replace them so you know that they're all brand new.
I won't put the cover back on, it's pointless. Put the loose cap back on. We will be ordering an oil cap too, just to make sure that's not an issue. But all we're gonna do now is we're gonna start it up, let it warm up for a little bit, and see if the misfire changes through live data altogether. So we'll be right back with you.
Go ahead and start it up and get the door and
Alright, so we let it run for a little bit, messing around with the live data on the scanner. I've come to the conclusion that this oil cap is definitely a problem. If you leave it loose, it gets a lot worse, a lot rougher, almost shuts off. If you get it to where it's kind of snug, it's better. It's not great. I'm pretty sure there's a seal in there that's supposed to actually fully seal it, and it doesn't.
An O-ring.
Probably an O-ring. It either could have came off when someone did an oil change. It could have been broken when someone did it. Don't know, but it's not there now. We are still checking the plugs though, just to be safe, see what they look like.
And what kind they are.
And what kind, yeah, because I do know that at somewhere I was previously working before, we did coils and plugs on this vehicle before. I don't remember what brand they were, so we're just pulling them to see, because sometimes it just might not like it. They are running premium fuel in this,
Yes.
like it should, so it's not an issue, just the wrong fuel in it. But it's been a consistent issue, so we're just going to check all the plugs, see if they're fouled up, see any other kind of indication. We don't have any oil going into the spark plug tubes at all. None leaking inside the valve cover here, so I don't think any of that's a problem. We are also going to replace the PCV as well. It is 127,000 miles and it's never been done before, so there could be a pinhole in there, just creating that excess bit of pressure.
Now, the manufacturer will tell you this PCV valve, that's like redundancy. The PCV in this is non-serviceable. They tell you have to buy a whole new valve cover. Junior will go over how you can actually look at the diaphragm on this, which is actually right here, and it is accessible. Only costs about $20, $30 versus a $400 valve cover, which comes with the same part.
So, I mean, you can go and replace the whole valve cover. Not recommended though, since you can just fix it for 20 bucks.
The dealer will not list that diaphragm though. It's aftermarket, eBay, Amazon. Unfortunately, just make sure that the seller's reputable.
It's not loose enough. Spark plugs are a 14 millimeter 12 point, by the way. They're not a random normal spark plug socket like 3/16.
13/16.
13/16, yeah, that's it, isn't it?
And you can use a 9/16 also.
Get out of there. The points aren't terrible. You can tell they did get a little bit hot. They are Bosch, so that's a good thing. They're not black. The diodes are still there. They're not flat tipped so far. No oil on them. They are definitely crispy though, for sure. That could just be because the system's trying to overcompensate fuel, thinking that it's running lean when in reality it's just got a huge leak. It's hot. Definitely got hot, so most likely it's pushing excess fuel all the time, thinking that it's not getting enough, so we may replace them just for good measure. But yeah, Bosch part number. The coils that were done were a different brand. They were not Bosch because they were not available at the time, and Mini doesn't even have them available. You can get them from sites online though. We might go that route after the PCV and the oil cap, just depending on how it
Let's see if
decides
they
to
actually
run.
call for their Iridium ones or not.
What do I have on there?
Iridiums.
NEC's on there.
Yeah.
Oh, that means it's all on your hands. Oh, you didn't touch the threads, did you?
It's ANSYs on the threads, but you gotta get that electric grease on
Goes. But yeah, pretty much while it was running, if you had it to where it was kind of loose, because it won't actually, it'll tighten, but it won't stay there, and there's still a giant leak there, because it just hops up like that. If you have it loose though, every time you hit the gas, this goes up, vacuum pressure's back down, and just
And even though the
much air.
check engine light was not coming on this time when we tried to replicate or duplicate the check engine light, we had the scanner on it, the snap-on scanner, and it was throwing multiple misfire codes in all 4 cylinders, but it wasn't registering the check engine light on that. There's 4 tabs on that.
Yep, I got one of them already.
Let's see in the back.
Got the 2 on the front, 3.
Now you can buy just the diaphragm, but I highly recommend, there's different ones that have a round cap that you can pop in there, but they also have the more reputable ones actually have, where's the case at? Where's the cover?
Right.
Have the one that actually is the original design.
But on this one, I mean, you're never really going to find a pinhole. I do see some, either carbon or something that was going to be making its way through there, kind of coating it.
You can take your flashlight and try to see. Now what will happen also in these is they tear. They'll get a slight tear in them from heat, constant heat cycles. But like Ronnie said, if it's a pinhole you're not going to know as far as visual inspection, you very seldom be able to find it unless it's an obvious tear. So we are going to go ahead and get the replacement, and the replacement actually comes with spring, new spring, comes with a diaphragm, and comes, like I said, with the cover. I highly recommend getting the one again which is actually designed. The other one's just a round cap that fits right over the diaphragm.
But again, BMW says you have to replace the valve cover, and it just comes off right like that. It's a serviceable part. So no reason to go buying a full valve cover, gasket job, all of it, when you could just check it yourself at home.
So what are we gonna do?
We are going to order an oil cap for it with the O-ring, because no telling if any of the teeth on the oil cap actually broke. I don't see any indication of it, but just in case, that way it's all new. We are going to replace the PCV, that diaphragm in there, just to know that that is good to go. New spring, that it's doing everything it should at 127,000 miles. We are going to double check and see exactly what plugs it calls for, because even though we went with OEM manufacturer, with Bosch, we could have the wrong temp rating, we could have the wrong spark, the gap could be off. But we're going to start with that and see where she goes from there before we make the leap to also doing coils. Like I said, these were replaced roughly 25,000 miles ago, about a year and a half ago. They're not Bosch, but again, Mini Cooper doesn't offer them, so you have to find them.
The coil packs?
Yeah, the coil packs. Yep. But other than that, we'll catch up with you once we order all that, and we'll have an update for that on you shortly.
Yeah, we're gonna order parts, and like Junior said, we'll have an update probably by the end of the week, possibly when the parts come in, and hopefully it'll be a good update. All right, YouTube Nation, there you have it. Junior talked about, we're gonna go ahead and replace the PCV diaphragm on there, get a oil cap, do a little research on what actual temperature plugs it calls for, and if it's actually supposed to be iridium. And we'll be back with you hopefully at the end of this week when the parts arrive. Go through all that with you guys while we're installing the parts, and then see what happens. We'll take it for a test drive and see if we can duplicate, or see if there's any issues. Like I said, we can use a scanner, and even though it's not showing misfires as far as enough to trigger the check engine light, see if the actual ECU is reading misfires like it was this time. And like I said, the original code it threw was the P0301, but when we hooked the scanner up, there was multiple misfires that were actually registering in the scanner from the ECU. So we're at 151 subscribers now. Please keep watching, subscribe please. We'd like to thank the subscribers that already had, people that already have subscribed. Send us some comments, let us know what you guys think as far as this project or any other projects we're on. Soon we're going to be looking for recommendations also on future projects. Still got a couple in here. Probably next week I'll end up putting a update on the Trans Am, the LS that I talked to you about, that you guys are familiar with. As far as the clearance issues, what we're having, and what our possible solutions are. Again, this is Ron from RTR Gearheads, and Junior also Auto Inc. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit that like button, the bell for notifications, and we definitely appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.